Hi everyone, welcome to OpenFilmmaker. So after owning this camera for 2 years, I decided it's time to make my own long-term review. Right now, you can pick up the G7 with 2 lenses for $500. Well, let's get the review started so you can make your own informed decision on whether or not to buy this camera. Since owning the G7, I've shot short films, family videos, and taken tons of pictures with this camera. Don't let the low price fool you. This is a fantastic bargain and a perfect vlogging and video camera. I'm gonna break up this review into 4 different parts: the advantages, the disadvantages, some quirks, and finally, my recommendation. Alright, getting started with the advantages. Now, a lot of people don't talk about the Wi-Fi app. This has an app for your phone or tablet, which allows Wi-Fi connection to the camera. You can use your phone as a monitor, you can stop recording, set ISO, shutter speed, aperture, all of this you can do remotely from your phone or tablet. You can also transfer JPEGs easily to your phone. Now, I use this feature quite a bit when I'm traveling. Now, other advantages, it has an articulating screen, which makes it great for vlogging. The 4K quality is 100 megabits per second. Now, compare that with the G9, which has 4K at 150 megabits per second, but it's 3 times the price of this. Now, the custom modes are also awesome. I have 3 different custom modes, one for vlogging, one for cinematic video, and one for photography. Now, other advantages, it's very small and lightweight. It makes it really portable, and the 14 to 42 focal length of the kit lens is equivalent to a 28 to 84 millimeter on the full frame, so you get a pretty nice focal range. It also has color profiles like sign like D and V, and I personally like to use the natural color profile. Now, other advantages, let's switch to the features. The features, it shoots raw images, it has focus peaking, post focus for focus stacking, it has a 4K photo mode, bracketing modes, time lapse, stop motion, panorama, artistic filters. Okay, if I talk about every single feature this camera has, I'm gonna be here all day. All right, let's switch over to the accessories. You can get a remote shutter for bulb mode. You can start and stop recording. I've used the remote shutter for fireworks photography. You can put a microphone on here, you can put an external flash, you can buy an AC adapter so you don't even have to consume the batteries, repeatedly, especially if you're shooting at home. It's also really lightweight. You can put it on a Crane M gimbal. And now you can also get speed boosters for adapting lenses. So not only do you have the micro four thirds lens selection from Panasonic and Olympus, but you can also adapt Canon and Nikon lenses with adapters. I personally use the Viltrox EF M2. A lot of users are going for the Sigma 18 to 35 for the great low light capability. All right, so let's get into the disadvantages of this camera. Now, the first one being the contrast-based autofocus. It's an older technology. It's not exactly the greatest, but you can get around this. I personally use a 1-point focus when I'm doing autofocus, but I mainly shoot in manual focus, so the contrast-based autofocus is really not an issue for me. Now, the shutter mechanism is a little bit older. It does have a little bit of shutter shock, but it's not really noticeable to the average person. The HDMI doesn't have pass-through, meaning you can't record on the camera and have the image visible on an external monitor simultaneously. Some people don't like that limitation. As you can see, compared to the advantages, there's only a few disadvantages of this camera. All right, so let's get into the quirks section. So the quirks are not exactly disadvantages, but something to be aware of. It doesn't have in-body image stabilization, but at this price point, you can't really complain, so I didn't include it in the disadvantages. Some other quirks, it has like a plasticky feel. The 4K has a slight crop. It seems to be about a 2mm zoom. Now, the 1080p mode doesn't have this crop or zoom. All right, so finally, let's get into the recommendation. This is a great budget camera for first camera owners. If you're just starting out for video, you should get this camera. Now, if you have prior video experience, the G85 is also a terrific value. Now, check out my video here in the top right corner to learn more about the G85. Now, overall, the G7 with 2 lenses is hard to beat. Right now, I think this is one of the best camera deals out there. Now, for photography, I also recommend picking up the Panasonic 25mm f1.7 or the Panasonic 42.5 f1.7. Now, for vloggers, I recommend getting an external mic like the Rode video mic and an AC adapter. Now, links to all of these products mentioned in this video are in the description below. If you like this video or found it helpful, smash that like button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.